Hey y'all, my name is Maddie, and today I'm going to be answering questions about teaching, social media, and life. Earlier this week on my teacher Instagram, I put a little Q&A box in my story for you guys to ask me any questions that you wanted. They could be related to literally anything, but like teaching, social media, life, things like that. And I compiled them all together, and so I decided to make a YouTube video about it to just answer your questions that you asked. Do I like teaching? Yeah, I do. I really do. And I think that part of the reason why I like it is because I like where I am. I like where I teach. I think that a lot of times teachers that are unhappy, it can a lot of times be because they're unhappy at the school that they're at. And change is okay. If you're at a place that doesn't seem like a fit for you, it's okay to go try somewhere else. You're not stuck. You might be for the year if it's in the middle of the year, but you can move and go try something else. Find a different principal, find a different AP, find something that works for you. Maybe a different subject, maybe a different entire school. Whatever that looks like for you, I like it because of where I'm at. I also like it because I love my children and the families that I serve. But I know that that looks different everywhere. So finding what works for you will really help you make sure that you love teaching as well. How many years have I been teaching, and do I think that teaching is a sustainable career? This is my 5th year. I'm going into my 5th year of teaching. And I think it could be a sustainable career if you have a good admin. I think personally that principal and assistant principal can make or break a school. I have been blessed by the absolute best, and so I think that it is sustainable if you have good support. That also comes from the state level. We have to have good support from the state as well. So it does get a little sticky depending on the state that you're in and the support that you feel. But I think that if you can get in a good situation where you feel supported and are actually valued, I think that you could last in this career. This next question says, tips for a first-year teacher. I think the biggest thing for me, my first year of teaching, was making sure that I had a really good routine. Especially teaching elementary school, these kids do so amazing when they have a routine and a schedule that they know is gonna work. So for me, that meant that I had a routine in the morning when they came in. We had a routine throughout the day, and then I had a very specific routine on how we would go home at the end of the day. That made no room for confusion for the students to not know what was expected of them. Another thing I would say is voice your expectations. These kids aren't gonna know what you want unless you tell them. Maybe write it on the board. If they're little, read it to them. Say it over and over again to where they understand what you expect of them. Because it's not fair for us to expect something in our mind but then not voice it and then get frustrated when they don't do it. Another thing I would say is organization. Your organization doesn't have to look picture perfect. It doesn't have to look like everybody else's. Figure out what works for you. Maybe you need turn-in trays. Maybe you need the mailbox system. Maybe you need everything to be color coordinated. Maybe you don't, but find what works for you to be organized, because that's gonna be super, super important. The next question is, how does lesson planning work, and how do I lesson plan? So the first thing is, my team teacher will come into my room and we'll plan in my room. It's either gonna be just me and her depending on the day, but it also could be all of our coaches, such as language, instructional technology, and then our principal or assistant principal will come sit in. We have kind of a rough schedule of what the district wants us to cover and when they want us to cover it. So that's kind of what we use to base what we are teaching based on the schedule. And then when it comes to the actual lesson, we will typically create our own things that cover the TEKS that are required. The TEKS are just the standards in the state of Texas. So that could be Jeopardy games, that could be partner work, stations, activities, things like that. We do a lot of it on our computers. So we use a lot of Google Slides and we use a lot of Google Docs. The way that our lesson plans work is we just have like a running Google Doc, and like it'll have the date and each day on the week what we are gonna be teaching, and we'll type in the mini lesson, the activity, and then like an exit ticket or whatever we're doing that day. Organization is so key, so that if I have a sub or if I need a refresher on what we're doing that day, I can just pull up that Google Doc, look exactly what it is, and remember instantly what we're supposed to be doing. The next question is the top 5 must-haves for 5th grade classroom management. I'm not sure I use 5 things, but 2 of the main things that I use. I have a whole class incentive and I have an individual incentive. The whole class incentive that we use is called our compliment letters. These are letters that I put on my whiteboard that spell out the word compliment, and they're all faced backwards, so you can't see any of the letters. If we're walking down the hallway and some random teacher or adult in the building says, "Oh my goodness, Mrs. Cox, your class looks so great. They're walking so well," compliment letter. We go back to the room when we're done with wherever we're going, and we flip over a compliment letter. And we do that all the way through. Anybody in the hallway that is an adult can compliment us. They can come in our room and they can compliment us. They can compliment us outside. They can compliment us during a fire drill, during lunch. Whenever we get a compliment, we flip over a letter. When the whole word is spelled and we can see all the letters, then they get to choose a class reward. That could be extra recess, that could be movie and lunch in the classroom, whatever they want. We talk about it and we discuss it and they vote on it. When they're done, we flip all the letters back over and we start over again. So that's our whole class incentive. But we also have individual incentives, which I personally love. They have their punch cards, which is so fun. It kind of makes me feel like the conductor on the Polar Express. Anyway, each kid gets a punch card. They write their name on it. It has like 28 holes, I'm pretty sure, where they will get punches, their smiley faces. When they're doing what they're supposed to, or if they're like the only person in the class that's on task, I'll be like, "Joshua, thank you so much for being on task. Will you bring me your punch card?" And I will just give him a few punches on his punch card. They keep it in their pencil bag, and then whenever they get a reward or they're doing what they're supposed to, or whatever, I say they earned punches, they'll bring it to me, I'll give them their punches, and they'll go back. Now, I teach with 5 other teachers, and we all do this, but they only can cash in their punch card to their homeroom teacher. So when it's all filled up, my kids in my homeroom will turn in their punch card to me. With that, they can get treasure box, they can get tech time, they can sit with a friend at lunch, they can have lunch in the classroom. I have a claw machine that they can use to get like a little stuffed animal toy, things like that. We vote on that at the beginning of the year and we come up with this big anchor chart and we put it on the wall so that every single time they turn in a punch card, instead of asking me for the list of things that they can get, they can just go look at the list. So whole class, I would say compliment letters, and then individual, I would say punch cards. The next question is, any ways to stay spiritually and physically fit during the school year? So for me, I have to do things for me. So I do not stay after contract hours very often because I know for me mentally, I can't do that. I have a husband and 2 dogs at home that I also want to have patience and love for. And if I stay at work and spend all of my energy there, I have nothing left to give when I get home. So for me, leaving on time really helps me stay emotionally in check. Physically, for lunch, just about every day I eat a salad. This past year, the second half of the school year, I cut out Coke because I realized it was not helping me physically or mentally. But watching what I eat is really what's helpful during the school year as well. And I know that's so hard because I know at schools, a lot of times principals and admin and PTA are like, "We brought you cookies and donuts and all the things." And so for me, it's really just being picky and choosing specific things, not always taking everything that's offered to me, for me personally. And spiritually, my husband and I are very active in our church. We serve in the 3-year-olds on Sundays. We're involved in a community group. We go to church weekly. That really just refills my cup before the week starts, and it's super beneficial for me. So that's how I kind of stay spiritually in check and also physically where I want to be. I had a few people ask me how I keep a work and life balance. I really just do not bring work home. I'm more of the person that I want to get to work an hour before the kids get there and get things done so at the end of the day I can just go home. I really try not to do much work at home. My husband has a job where he doesn't get home until about 6 or 7. And so if I have to bring things home, I do my best as soon as I get home to knock those out and have them done so that when he gets home, I don't have to worry about school or work. The social media side, I like to schedule my posts so that I'm not having to sit constantly and think about, "Oh, I need to post right this second. I need to do this right now," because that kind of stresses me out. So for me, it's really having a routine and really having a schedule and sticking to it. When I do that, it's so much easier for me to balance my life, my free time, all those kinds of things. I live by my planner. Anytime anyone asks to do anything, I check my planner, and if I can, I write it down immediately. That's the only way I'm able to understand when I am free and when I'm not, because all these dates get so jumbled in my head. So a planner is also how I balance everything. The next question is recommendations for cute clothes. It kind of ties in with another one that said, if you could choose a Fab 5 set of stores that are your go-to, what are they? Okay, so 5 stores that I love to shop at. I also love shopping online, so those are gonna count. I love Shop RBC. They have dresses and cute clothes that are honestly pretty modest, can be worn in the workplace, so I really do love them. So Shop RBC. White Hanger Boutique, they're also super cute. I think they're located somewhere in Dallas, but I shop online. Target, I literally love it so much. I don't know if y'all are like sleeping on Amazon, but Amazon has actually really good clothes. Like, I love Amazon clothes as well. And then the last one, I would say anything that's like a local boutique. Like, there are so many things, Instagram ads know me way too well, but they're just like popping up on my feed, and if you guys are annoyed that you get them, I'm the reason you keep getting them because I buy things off of them. But any like little boutique. I love, aside from like Target, I love shopping small. I think that that's just like the greatest thing ever. So any small boutique is really just a favorite of mine as well. My favorite vacation spot is the next one. I am a beach girl through and through. Any beach, literally anywhere. Over winter break last year, I went to the Grand Cayman with my teacher friend Kimmy, and it was so fun. I just love the beach. My husband and I are going on a cruise this summer. I'm going on a beach trip next week with some friends. Just like, I think I just need the heat because like the mountains, my husband is a mountains person and I'm a beach person, so I guess opposites attract. But I don't mind the mountains, but I really would prefer the beach. The last question is advice for social media beginners. I would say the number one piece of advice is to be consistent. Whether that means posting every day or posting once a week or posting once a month, whatever consistent looks like for you, do that. Do what works best for you, but be consistent. People follow your page because they want to see what you have to say. So when they follow you, they're expecting content. That's not saying you have to post 8 times a day. Some people say that. I don't think that's necessary. But people are following you because they want to see what you're doing. So then just post. So I would say consistency is key. Another thing I would say is interact with other people. Follow other accounts that are similar to yours. Comment on their posts. Talk with them. Message them. Become friends with them. Social media is so fun and such a great place where you can build relationships with people. So use that to your advantage. The way you're gonna grow is by making friends. And so post consistently and make friends. That's all I have time for today. Thanks for watching my video. In the upcoming months and my other videos, you can look forward to seeing me doing travel vlogs. And then come August, it's gonna start all things school. Decorations, lesson planning, room transformations, and all the fun things. So if you like my channel, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on anything. Bye.